Today's show is brought to you by Even Keel Fish Shack.
Hold the mayo. It's time for MikeMayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Beefo, and Louie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim flam sauce with the awesome bay with shafafa on the side.
Happy Tuesday, everybody, and welcome back to another week of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Had a little bit of an extended weekend, but here we are, bright and bouncy and bushy-tailed, and a remote show from, where are we, Jeff DeFote Forest?
Well, it was a great spot, and I was kind of in on the origin of the Los Olas. I'm sure you were. Louie Bossi opening, and had a friend that was very tight with Louie and was a big promoter. She was a former salesperson at WQAM, the undisputed social butterfly of Fort Lauderdale, Beth Bernstein. Introduced me to Louie under the auspices that he was a trivia buff. And, of course, we've always had the trivia challenge going for the last 25 years. So he invited us there for dinner as we were meeting to discuss his presence on an upcoming show. And he turned us on to, like, the greatest food. And you know that took off and was a real hot spot. And his story is a brilliant one. And then he opened up this second location now. We're here in Boca Raton. It's a smash hit and universally loved by all different types of people, including my grandchildren, who decided they no longer wanted Papa John's pizza anymore. That was their lone insistence that all pizza had to come from Papa John's. They had the Louie Bossi pizza, and they got turned on to a little bit of culture. So I'm a big fan of Louie Bossi's, and I know a lot of people love both places.
If you see what we have here, oh, wow, look, they're hitting us with more food that's what happens on the Lunchbox.
What got me the
Thank
first
you very
time.
much.
Yeah, exactly.
So, we have our, looks like this is a very traditional classic Neapolitan-style pizza. So classic, they don't even cut it, and you're supposed to kind of tear it yourself.
That's perfect for you.
Yeah, no, it's good. You can tear it up. But
you eat like Conan the Barbarian.
Beautiful fresh buffalo mozzarella on there, the nice sauce, his puffy dough, which, again, a Neapolitan pizza. It's a fork and knife pizza.
This charring thing has gotten so controversial.
But
it's worse than the election.
This is the traditional style where it gets soft in the middle. And
it looks great.
Knife and fork. Believe me, in Naples, the classic Neapolitan-style pizza, they eat with a knife and fork. New Yorkers like us would slap them around a little bit and say,
I would just tear it in half.
What are you doing,
Michael?
Meanwhile, they also hit us with a little bit of the antipasto platter. Look
at
these beautiful, the Sicilian green olives. I love these things. I'm going to pop one in my mouth right now. But we got, look at this, pile of meats.
Finger all of them, did you? I mean,
no, I didn't finger all the olives. I'm just having one. Meanwhile, we got to say hi and a warm welcome to Mike Louie Lubitz. He's running around like a maniac. He's buying houses, selling houses, closings, title searches, deeds.
He's Mr. Real Estate, man. He's Robin
I don't know.
Leach.
He's doing renovations. I don't know what else is going on in his world. Did you make how are you?
I'm here.
Okay.
To win. We closed on our home Thursday. We closed on the new home yesterday. So thank you, gentlemen, for allowing me that day because it made my life a lot easier. We actually celebrated our first Halloween in the home that isn't our home, but the neighborhood's like sort of old school. So my sister with her kids came over and we did there was trick-or-treating for like an hour and a half, 2 hours, which was really cool. We had a really good time.
I got to tell you,
how were your Halloweens?
I guess it was a post-COVID bounce for trick-or-treating because, luckily, me and my daughter went shopping at BJ's Wholesale Club a couple of weeks ago, and we did our shopping. I had some coupons, and I probably had close to 500 pieces of candy.
I bet you handed out, each kid got a can of seltzer. You got so much of it stashed away. Speaking of BJ's.
Laced with vitriol. No, no, it was great because my neighborhood, I'm in this ungated community, old part, Eastern Dania Beach, and we have kids from the neighborhood, kids from all parts of the city. They come through, and it started about a little before 7, and it didn't let up till almost 9 o'clock. I actually, at one point, I went in, I shut the lights, like hint, hint, I'm going to watch the Monday Night Football game. And these kids were ferocious. They're banging on the door. We want our candy. And I almost gave it all out, and I spooked them. I had my
Anybody egg the house like we used to
in Brooklyn if you didn't get the treats. you got the tricks.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
How about the
last
chalk
night,
sock? Did you have that? The
Yeah, we
chalk
got all
sock?
kinds of things. There were the eggings. There was the toilet
Toilet
papers.
paper.
The chalk sock was deadly.
Those things have gone out the window now because with the way that the self-defense laws are, basically people can shoot people
Oh,
dead
jeez.
for doing stuff like that.
I
And,
came close. No, I hit 2 unders actually. There were no kids that came to my house. The over under was 1.
well, you're in that
And
little kind of
community.
funky.
On the way up here, the over under, I always have to take this challenge, the professor challenge, over under number of cars in the Arby's drive-through on Federal Highway or any Arby's for that matter. Here it is, like almost approaching noon, 0. So the under scored
I
there.
didn't know there was an Arby's near here because Jim Sarney, my Svengali, has been nominated for a rib sandwich. So you have to order in advance. Food like you have to special order in advance. This rib sandwich that is, I guess, the answer to the McDonald's rib sandwich. Which, oh, by the way, happy anniversary, guys!
Yeah.
Happy
Oh, it's
anniversary.
1 year. Yeah, nice.
1 year
Anniversary.
of the Lunchbox today. That
And look
I
how we
completely
blossomed here.
forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah, look how we blossomed. You
We
can see
blossomed in
us.
the free food.
You can no longer hear us on any terrestrial radio stations
That's all
or
fine.
celestial radio stations, or whatever the word is. I know Louie gets on me, but no, we are now strictly a live stream podcast show. We're just expanding on more networks, and
Okay,
hopefully
man.
we're going to be getting onto all the major podcast streaming.
Appreciate people
networks
tuning
and-
in too. It's been very nice with the Facebook and the feedback that we're getting on the show.
So we're getting, last year, I guess on the inaugural week, I
Facebook, did I
tasted.
say? Facebook?
What's that?
You
Facebook?
sound like
Let's eat South
Belichick and Nick
Florida.
Saban.
Let's Eat South Florida. Happy to host us with the 91,000
nice.
strong.
Yes.
And
Great.
We'll thank our partners at the Sun.
They show a powerhouse. They really do.
And the Sun Sentinel do great work in all the food coverage is always good. You could find out what's opening, what's closing. There's the man,
Oh,
Louie Bossi
man.
himself. All right,
I'm
we can hang out,
Hey,
Louie.
what's up, man? How you
Hey,
doing?
good. You're looking fit and trim.
Wow, this
Look at
guy.
you.
He
Oh, wow. Okay, he's going to
He
go
dropped like
wash.
100 last
Bossi's
time I
here.
saw him.
He's
So I
here to
have to
talk
say
about his
something,
upcoming event, Taste of Recovery, which we haven't even mentioned yet.
So we
Go
have a
ahead,
lot going on, and we'll definitely talk
Yeah.
with that about Louis. But my wife is freaking out because this is her favorite restaurant, and they have a pear pizza, and she will be mad at me that I don't know how to pronounce it. That
Pear
is-
and Gorgonzola?
Yes, that is her favorite pizza
Oh,
on the
that's a good
planet.
one. Yeah.
And when I told her we'd be here, first of all, she started ordering things. I'm like, I don't think it
Why
works
didn't you
that way.
bring her?
Well, she worked, she's a lunatic.
Yeah, but
We took
she could
yesterday
take a
off,
long
and
lunch one
We
day,
took
right?
yesterday off, and
Right.
she still worked half today. So, and then I said we're having the actual Louie Bossi on, and she almost slapped me. I was like, "Are you kidding me?"
I have to
I was
say, he
like,
looks
yeah, even
entirely
though-
different than the last time I saw him.
He made a
Yeah.
little look at this. We'll find out what it is. I'm thinking it's
Yeah.
some sort of like spaghetti amatriciana. I don't know. We're gonna talk to the
How
man
did you
himself.
end up with that right away, Mayo? I mean, without any offering to anybody
I promise
else.
I won't
mean,
spit
just
on
the
it
usual.
or drool
Yeah.
on it. I might drool on it.
That
It
looks
so
fantastic,
good.
whatever that is.
But we welcome to the Lunchbox on our 1 year anniversary. It's a very big occasion. Louie Bossi, how are you doing, my friend? It's been a while since we've seen each other.
Yeah, great. Since that beautiful article you wrote.
Oh yeah. That was when I was back still writing for newspapers.
You didn't bury the place, did you?
No, are you
Oh,
kidding?
okay.
No, it wasn't a review. It was a feature story about his
Well,
incredible
no,
journey.
yeah. The whole world knows I'm a heroin addict now. So
We never mentioned that on a trivia show, but you look entirely different. I mean, congratulations on. But what are you hitting the gym every day for a couple of hours
No,
since the last time I saw you?
yeah, I exercise. That's about it.
Are you
yeah.
been still playing ice hockey? Or
a little bit? Yeah, a
Is
little
that your
bit.
son still playing?
My
or-
son plays it. Yep.
And you grew up in Jersey, right?
Yeah,
did,
Jersey.
did you play roller hockey or ice
Well,
hockey
yeah,
back then?
all
'Cause
of it.
I
Street,
did all
roller,
of it too.
yeah.
Yeah. And then no, this has been a long, strange trip talking about Grateful Dead songs, but
Smells great.
here we
by the way.
are.
I wish we had smell-o-vision.
Before we get into the Taste of Recovery event, which obviously you're, kind of co-presenting, and it's become a one of your big causes every year, and it's a tremendous group. That's a Taste of Recovery is a clubhouse. It's not a sober home. It's not anything like that. It's a place where people who are in recovery can come, and there's all kinds of meetings all week long for whatever, whatever the assistance or I guess, just I guess it's just groups that sit down and chat.
There are 12-step meetings.
Yeah.
All sorts of 12-step meetings. It's called the Crossroads Club. It's where I actually met my wife there 24 years ago. And I've been going there ever since.
Yeah, no, and it's a
Yeah.
tremendous group of people. They do great things for a lot of people, and a lot of people in the restaurant and hospitality business, but also a lot of people outside. But before we get into the event, Tell us about this wonderful food that you prepared for us.
Quick lunch I threw together.
I gave the order about 2 minutes before the show, and look at him. He's knocking it out. What do we got?
Be happy with the antipasta. I remember you brought out a giant platter at the Los Olas location. I was there around the time you first opened up with the lovely Beth Bernstein. And is she not the queen socialite of all of Fort Lauderdale? And she was telling a lot of people about your place, and it was really just taking off. You had the whole backyard there full, and you brought out an incredible plate of antipasta. Now, is that a standard? Because it included it was the size of this table.
Yeah, it's one of our main selling items for starters. You know, you come in with 3, 4, 5 people, they get a board, you get salami, cheeses, our artisan breadsticks and bread that we make. We call it accoutrements, all the stuff that comes with it, the olives.
These Sicilian olives, what's it called? The
Castro
They're the best olives in the world, Bifo. You got to try one.
They're my
favorite
olives.
Vibrant. It's amazing.
Yeah. I'm surprised you haven't finished them all already, Mike Mayo. I mean, the way that you ever see a food critic that ate like he was Cro-Magnon man? I mean, how do you feel when you see a guy like that and he's at the table, just tearing stuff, shredding food instead of sampling it?
I eat with my hands. Now, tell us a little bit about this. Is a straight up like classic Neapolitan style pizza,
this is the margarita pizza. This is our classic Neapolitan pizza. You notice the Neapolitan pizza, they have the little char on the outside. We call it the leoparding.
Yeah, leopard spots. It's beautiful. It's absolutely
so you
gorgeous.
See we call it cornichon, the crown.
Right.
That rises up. That's from the mother yeast that we use in the pizza.
The mother yeast, Defoe. Mother yeast. It's beautiful.
No, it looks fantastic. It smells great too. Like I say, I wish we had smell-o-vision here.
The Neapolitan style does not come cut.
We cut it here, but I didn't want to cut it in case you were taking pictures of it.
Oh yeah, okay. That's
jeopardize the integrity of my picture.
It won't look like much in about a minute if you get a knife and fork.
This looks so beautiful. But
sure.
in Naples, they do eat it with a knife and fork, right?
Oh yeah, they won't cut it in Naples.
Yeah,
we're in the United States. We get
and don't ask for Parmesan cheese, right?
No, not on your fish or seafood.
He's liable to swat you in the head.
Or salt and pepper.
I'm gonna dig in, but
Louie, while you do that, I wanted to get to a little bit into Louie's story in conjunction with the recovery, because everybody loves a guy that can pick themselves off the mat, peel themselves off, and come back. And your story in that regard is remarkable. I mean, it really is. To be where you're at today, could you have ever envisioned this? When you were going through your struggles?
No, not a million years. But I will tell you that food has always been a big part of my journey. I started making pizza when I was 11 years old. I left school, rather early in the 8th grade.
Yeah.
I left school in the 8th grade because they didn't want me driving to my 8th grade graduation. So they asked me to.
Were you also booking bets at that time?
I was 16 years old in the 8th grade. I don't know how that happened. But yeah, so food has always been a big part of my journey. And it's actually been my therapy, believe it or not. Being in the kitchen, working with food, being passionate about it, and just engulfing myself into the restaurant industry and cooking in general. People ask me, younger chefs will ask me, how did you do it? What did you do? For me, it was a matter of life and death. It really was, and I went after this career like nobody's business, and I kept just going.
It's hard to convince people to give you a shot, though, after you've been through something like that. I would imagine that's one of the difficulties people in recovery have to face. That okay, I'm back on my feet, I'm ready to go, but nobody wants to give me a chance.
Yeah, it took one chef that gave me an opportunity, and I never looked back.
Well, now how long you've been with the Big Time Restaurant Group and the story of the Louie Bossi?
June. Well, this year is 22 years.
Oh wow, with Big Time.
With Big Time.
Okay, and that's a group that includes this guy Todd Herbst, and people in South Florida, you should know them because they're the ones who operate Rocco's Tacos, City Oyster up in Delray Beach, Louie Bossi's, and now Elizabetta's.
Big City Tavern, City Cellar, Grease Burger Bar.
Yeah.
They have 17 restaurants in the group.
17. They're doing big time work now. They started small. But all their operate.
I bet they're happiest with Louie, though.
Oh yeah, well,
and Rocco.
Oh, and Rocco,
Rocco, the tacos.
Yeah, making an avocado thing, a little guac at the table went a long way. For Rocco, for sure.
No, and it's one of those things where they care about quality. You use quality ingredients here, it's great to see that. Gosh, it's been how long since the original Louie Bossi on Los Olas opened? About
7 years now.
7 years, okay, and then this one has been opened about
4.5, 5.
4.5 years. And your story, I mean. look, people think of recovery. It's not like one day, oh, you're sober and that's it. It's not a linear thing. It has ups and downs, right?
Yeah.
And
I've multiple relapses, but I just never gave up. The people do fall, people get up. Some people get it the first time, some people get it the second time, some people get it the 20th time.
Yeah.
But it's a matter of life and death to never give up. Obviously we see the the fallout of that fentanyl and everything else that's going on.
There's so much stuff out there that it's always look. It's sobriety is a wonderful thing, and I'm so glad that you've embraced it.
Yeah.
And because look, the quality when you put your mind to things and your therapy in the kitchen, it's beautiful. Talk a little bit about the Taste of Recovery event.
Yeah.
Just the details. If people want to go, how do they get tickets, and how did you get first involved, and what's it all about?
So again, in Crossroads, I was sitting at an AA meeting one day, and I started talking to this gentleman, and he invited me to join the fundraiser committee, getting involved. Try to be involved in the community and stuff, and we were discussing how to come up with a fundraiser. Now, some people had the 5K run, some people had the hot dog this, and it just dawned on me that what if we did an event and I can gather some of the chefs and restaurants in the community, and we did an event with food and called it, a certain name, and we come up with a name, and that's how it started. And in the first year, it took we were just taking a shot at it. Now we spent $30,000 of the clubhouse money. So there was a lot of stress on me that this was going to be
you got to
successful.
pull it off.
You got to pull it off. And we ended up pulling it off. And,
nice.
and now every year it's gotten better and better. And I'm hoping and praying that, that someday it becomes, a thing that sponsorship is not a problem. We don't have to chase the money down because this is
a little thing called COVID got in the way the last few years, but now you're back. It's going to be taking place this Saturday up at Old School Square in Delray Beach. I'm honored enough that they asked me to return as a judge. I did it once, and I guess I must have been
kind of interesting. I mean, obviously an oversight on the committee's
I was
part.
on my best behavior that night. I got him fooled deep.
Well, he's eating. He's going to be eating.
I was eating. And no,
when he goes into his critic mode, though, he's a different guy.
Yeah.
Than he is when he's like absolutely slobbering over like the great food that we could serve.
You can dress up real nice sometimes when you have to MC an event. Same thing when I gotta put on my critic's cap and start analyzing the dishes.
Comes in with all the lingo, the food lingo, the vernacular.
What I love about Taste the Recovery, and I guess there's still a couple of tickets left. They're selling out fast.
Yeah.
And I think you go to just tastetherecovery.com or go to Eventbrite.
Eventbrite, Taste the Recovery. You get the tickets online. If not, you pay it. I think it's a little extra at the door.
Right. If there's any availability. I was talking to publicist Debbie Abrams, and she's saying they're almost sold out, and they want everybody to have a good experience, not have lines too long, not have running out of food. Yeah. So get your tickets now. Eventbrite.com. Just search for Taste of Recovery. It's going to be this Saturday night, I think, from 6 till about 9 or 10. And what I love also is you take the competition part seriously. There's some cash prizes on the line for these participating restaurants. I think there's about 19 in all.
Wow.
And you got some good heavy-hitting judges besides me, Jan Norris, longtime food writer and critic. She's ran the Palm Beach Post food section for a while. Her name is escaping me. She writes for Boca Raton magazine, and I've met her, and she's a lovely person. I forgot.
Obviously made a lasting impression on the senior citizen of the group here. He rags on me about my old age.
It's happening to me, Louie.
Names. I don't know.
It's happening to me, Louie. But but talk about some of the restaurants that are participating, and just what you tell the chefs that. This is some serious stuff. They should bring their A game, right?
Obviously, I wanted to make it attractable for the chefs to come in and be able to be in competition because we love that kind of stuff. And of course, there's a cash prize to it that helps out a lot.
No doubt.
So it's all of our restaurants. I really want to thank my partners, Todd, Bill, can go on Eventbrite and Taste the Recovery and pick up tickets.
Awesome. All right, what do you think?
So,
Quick judgment on the spaghetti here.
I'm trying to just the spaghetti is just tremendous. It's got that good soulful flavor, that rich. It's kind of it's a southern Italian dish, right?
Roman style.
And
nice.
guanciale is it's got that really good, little bit fatty flavor, but all that good that like you said, the jowl of the pork is tremendous.
A lot of fat,
flavor.
a lot of flavor. Yeah.
And you're this is house made pasta, right? It's everything here.
Yeah.
And this is, people like, I don't know why, but people would poo-poo. Sometimes they say, "Oh, I'm going to Louie Bossi," and they always like roll their eyes like it's some touristy place. It's not.
No.
Everything there. I remember the first time I went in there, and I just went for lunch, and you had that. I guess it was like a porchetta sandwich.
Yeah.
And tremendous. And then I had my daughter's birthday party one year out in the backyard there at the Las Olas location, where you got that little carousel,
the
piazza. They had a blast.
Yeah.
Me and my ex had a blast. We still would talk to each other. And we had that risotto with the seafood, which is tremendous. Like every dish, I couldn't find fault with anything. You guys just do a tremendous job.
And the other thing too, it's reasonable.
Yeah.
We've had many a birthday celebration here, because my son lives not far away here in Boca. And as I said, my grandkids love the place, and so does everybody else. And then, the tab comes, and you would expect it to be much more high-end in terms of the pricing. But
I think
very, very reasonable,
We got a great recipe for success with the decor, with the food. Like you were saying, we buy the best ingredients. Yeah, 80% of our stuff comes from Italy, which is very difficult right now. But we're making it happen. So, yeah.
All right. So, Louie, I got to just give you tremendous props. Apparently, I do have a listener saying we have a little audio difficulty. Yeah, it's back. Okay, good. All right. Because I don't know, when people walk in and out with their phones on, we always have.
They cut it off when you were talking.
Yeah. Well, I was feeding his face anyway.
What they should do is when I'm eating, they should just black out the screen. It's
people,
gross. All right,
they consider it X-rated.
This is what we do on live streaming. What's on tap? Is anything new in the works for either you? I guess now you have a new role, right? You're kind of overseeing.
Yeah, I'm a corporate chef. Me and Chef Elisa Betta, who's one of my partners, who's also been a great success. We have two restaurants called Elisa Betta's. Our next thing is we're building a rooftop bar on top of the Elisa Betta's in West Palm.
And good luck with this week and keep up.
Raiders?
Fan.
Give us one. You give us one.
Raiders?
No, any question. Yeah. Because we were both watch
I'll give
Raiders.
you a hockey.
Bobby Orr.
Who still holds the record for most consecutive goals per season?
Most
consecutive.
I'm sorry.
The goals winning
most 50 goals
seasons. Bobby Hull.
No.
Mike Bossi.
You got it.
Mike Bossi.
Your brother.
The late Mike Bossi. I can't believe he's gone.
He was my idol growing up, hence the last name.
Yep.
He spells it with a Y. I spell it with an I.
We became friends, Louie and I, with Brian Trottier through Business Association. Yeah, great guy.
They were best friends. Even
Still
when he died,
sharp,
Brian Trottier was there when he died.
He was tearing up just talking about the guy. We had him on a show
what a
shortly
team
after.
that was.
I got to know Dennis Potvin fairly well because I covered the first few seasons of the Florida Panthers back in my sports writing days.
Oh, yeah.
And, I grew up a Rangers fan up in the blue section where we would pull all kinds of nasty things at Dennis Potvin, and then I found myself in an elevator with him during the first, few weeks.
Told
of
him how
the
much
franchise.
you admired his play.
I told him, Dennis Potvin, great player.
We didn't say
So
Potvin
nice to
sucks
meet
like
you.
the
And I
Rangers.
said, but I got to tell you, when I grew up, I hated you.
It was like interviewing a jockey at the track when I was doing the racing shows that you were just cursed out because he stiffed a 3-5 shot. And then
The
you're
only
like,
reason we
hey,
would
Johnny B, how are you, man?
The
Good to
only
see you.
reason we'd say Potvin sucks because he just was such a pain in
He
the
was
butt. to
tortured,
Rangers
Well,
yeah.
fans.
he had that hit on knocked the guy out of the.
At the playoffs?
Yeah.
Which one? No, this is going back to 77, 76.
He hit a guy pretty hard, and the Rangers fans didn't like it.
Well,
it was,
Kachuk? I can't
Could
even
be,
remember.
yeah.
Probably the chief, Jimmy Nielsen.
I don't know
That
if it
would-
was Ulf Nielsen or
could have been. You know what? I got
Ulf
to go
Samuelson?
back.
or Ulf, one of them.
Yeah,
I forget
could have
who
been
it
one of
was.
those guys.
This was
Yeah.
Ulf
back in
was usually the guy
79.
delivering the heat, though.
Yeah,
This was
you know,
79 when John Davidson was between the pipes.
I
for
told
the-
you he knew
for
his
the
sports.
Rangers,
I
so.
got to see the Kachuk
Yeah.
brothers play this weekend. That was
Oh, very nice.
pretty
Nice.
good.
Very
That
nice.
was pretty good.
Louis, thanks so much, man.
Uh,
Appreciate
Thanks
it.
so much.
Thank you.
My brother's texted me a Potvin sucks scarf, so that's it. So it's nice.
Hey, you Ranger fans never give it up. Huh?
That's it. We don't. We're a little bit sad and desperate. All right, Louis.
Well, thank
Thank
you.
you,
a
man.
pleasure.
Thank
Looking
you,
forward
guys.
to
Pleasure,
Saturday.
man.
Are
Seeing
you
you again.
cooking on Saturday? Or you just
Yeah,
sit
I'll
out?
be there.
You'll
I'll be there.
Okay.
But
All
I'm
right.
leaving early because I'm going to a Raider game in Jacksonville. Don't ask
Oh,
me
nice.
why.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
All right. We'll
Maybe didn't get a win. Yeah.
we'll stick around to the end. We'll announce. I'll text you. It's all
Thanks for
good.
being with us.
All right.
Thank you.
Say a couple of good words for our sponsors.
I'm gonna eat while you do that.
Oh
man.
yeah, you go
I
ahead.
like that you
but-
got food on the
Oh
copy.
yeah, I got food on the copy. This is, we're just
You
winging
don't need it
here.
anyway because they're
It's the
so
first
good.
anniversary, and it's a total celebration. We got pasta, we got pizza, we got antipasta, we got Louie.
Let me do my
Louie
best
and
Mike
Louie.
Mayo here.
And of course, we also have our fine friends at Visit Lauderdale and Greater Fort Lauderdale. The season is here. The boat show wrapped up last week, but right around the corner is the boat parade coming up on that Saturday in December. And Greater Fort Lauderdale is welcoming everybody
yeah.
under the sun. And that means all you foodies out there, the culinary explorers, cocktail connoisseurs, and craft beer aficionados. Come one, come all. Get ready to savor every moment. And from dockside dining with breathtaking views like we had last week at Southport Raw Bar with Buddy and Necky Mohan. It was great to see Necky again and great to talk to Buddy. And there's lively cafes along Las Olas Boulevard.
I like the way
Award-winning
you're
chefs-
ad-libbing in the middle.
That's what you're supposed
You're
to
really
do.
you're a new man, Mike Mayo.
Well,
That's great.
you
From the beginning,
Put a little seasoning in there,
you were Cabranci was rehearsing how he was going to thank the Godfather.
So a year ago, I was so nervous on the air because, let's face it, the airways of WWNN.
I want to thank you, Godfather, for inviting me to your daughter's wedding. It is a pleasure to be
And,
here.
May your first award-winning chef
Be a boy.
masculine and feminine.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
take everybody under the sun. Award-winning chefs up and down the coast in every city in Broward, every cuisine imaginable. World-class culinary scene is here. Come stay and play in Greater Fort Lauderdale. Discover taste sensations at more than 4,000 area restaurants. That's a lot of restaurants. And there's a Louie Bossi on Las Olas, too. You want to check that one out for all you Fort Lauderdale explorers. You can also explore the thrilling nightlife scene down on Las Olas, like your man, Frankie, has his Piazza
Oh,
Italia.
yeah,
That
yeah.
turns
Oh,
into
that
quite
place
the
is
nightlife
rocking, man.
scene. And there's
Rocking.
craft breweries along the Visit Lauderdale Ale Trail, hidden speakeasies, rooftop bars, expert mixologists, all kinds of great stuff. It's a never-ending culinary and cocktail celebration in Greater Fort Lauderdale, and everyone's invited. So for more information about the latest deals and events, go to visitlauderdale.com.
You gave those people their money's worth. This is almost like a Fra Diablo. I mean, that is some spicy hot.
So here's the deal.
He's got-
What's
There's two
this? What's
dishes
this
my
called?
wife. Oh, yeah, what is? Did he say what that was?
Yeah, he's spaghetti amatriciana. It usually served with
Amatriciana, man.
bucatini.
Boy, I like that.
Bucatini
man.
is a thicker, hollow noodle. It's like a spaghetti with a hole in the middle. It's like a straw. But Louis says he doesn't like the bucatini. He made straight up spaghetti. And again, the
I
amatriciana,
could have got that in
a
Rome.
spicy tomato
Yeah,
sauce
something like that.
with the pork jowl. It's the
Wow.
guanciale. It's called guanciale.
It's on fire.
Guanciale. And it's a really zesty dish. I love it.
Very nice.
Let's take a break. Let's do a
Let's do
double
it,
break,
man.
and we'll
Yeah.
come back with Chris from the Crossroads Recovery Center in Delray Beach. to talk
Sounds like
more
a really
about-
good event. It really
Yeah.
does. Yeah.
We'll be back after these words.
You're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more? Go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6. The early bird special runs from 4:30 to 5:30, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets, they've got eggs Benedict, they've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally, and they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks, they're open every day but Tuesday. Go in there on a Wednesday. They got buy one, get one on cheesesteaks from 5 to 8 p.m. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. You like pizza? Who doesn't like pizza? Well, my spot for pizza is the Pizza Spot. It's in that little bit hard to find Riverside Park neighborhood of Fort Lauderdale, but it's totally easy to love. It's at 601 Southwest 12th Avenue, New Haven style, a pizza from Wade and Reese. It's a lovely outdoor spot. You could also pick up pies to go at 754-779-7788, 754-779-7788. Again, they're open every day but Monday for lunch and dinner. Some of the best pizza I've ever had. Go to Pizza Spot. They also have subs, salads, and more. Tell them the Gambling Gourmet sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, Even Keel Fish Shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, that's my spot. It's upscale food in a down-home setting. The chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. And we're back here on a special edition of the Lunchbox, coming to you live from Louie Bossi's in Boca. 2 locations of Louie Bossi's, one on Las Olas in Fort Lauderdale, this one on Palmetto Park Road, right by, I guess it's Federal Highway in Boca.
Where's your Gucci bag? You didn't bring it?
I got my Gucci bag.
All
But
right.
we are, we had a lovely chat with Louie Bossi himself, talk about the upcoming Taste of Recovery event, and now we're pleased to have on the show Chris Finley from the Crossroads Center, which is the beneficiary and the presenting sponsor of the event. Welcome to the Lunchbox, Chris. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you, guys. Thanks for
Yeah.
having me. Appreciate it.
So tell a little bit about, I guess, what you do and your involvement with Louie and how all this comes together.
Sure. So I'm on the board of Crossroads. I've been on the board for about 10 years. Back in 2017, Crossroads was established in 1982. So in 2017, it was our 35th anniversary. We were looking to do some fundraising. Louie was on our board at that time. And so we were kind of sitting around spitballing ideas. And Louie said, what about doing a Taste of Recovery? So it was kind of born out of his brain. And then we all ran with it. And our first event, like I said, was in 2017. It's a great event. And we had it for the next 2 years. And then COVID struck. So unfortunately, we were unable to have it in 19 and 20. Or 20 and 21, but we're back this year, and we got 19 restaurants lined up, and we got a bunch of great sponsors and a bunch of great volunteers, so we're looking forward to a really good event.
And it's this Saturday night, but tell a little bit about, I guess, the actual recovery, the
the Crossroads
Sure.
Center and how big is it, and how many meetings a week, and how many people avail themselves of the services?
Sure. One thing I always say about Crossroads, so it's always easier for me to tell you what Crossroads is not. And Crossroads is not a treatment center. Facility that provides meeting space for 12-step recovery groups. It's open to anybody. You can walk in. We have about 700 attendees on a daily basis that walk through the doors of Crossroads. That's 365 days a year. So we are helping people, locally, people who are down here, snowbirds, people who are down here for treatment and seeking recovery. And we're open to Alcoholics Anonymous, Narcotics Anonymous, overeating, gamblers, whatever the 12-step, addiction.
You're there.
We're there.
Yeah.
We're here.
We may be checking into Gamblers Anonymous, although he's been on a little bit of a roll. Yeah.
No, and it's no joking. I mean, look, there's some people who control themselves with substances
Right.
or activities that leave me in the brain, and for some people just don't.
When it becomes overwhelming, then you have a problem
and
for sure.
and for some reason it seems like a lot of people in the restaurant hospitality industry, I don't know if it's disproportionate or not, but I know a lot of people I know in the business, it's Louie Bossi or some others who are open about their recovery.
Sure.
Thinking of Emerson Frisbee up in Palm Beach County, a great chef. It seems like a lot. Do you find that? Is it just the nature of different jobs, or it affects everybody from all across the spectrum?
It affects everybody. But again, the genesis of this was, when we were talking about ideas, Louie recognized that, a lot of people in the food do suffer from addiction. And I think, I guess the food business, it's kind of a subculture,
It's
right?
intense.
Yeah. It's, you work long hours, you get out, and, I don't know if that's a contributing factor, or if people who are, predisposed to addiction gravitate towards that lifestyle. It's, it's whether it's a chicken or the egg. I'm not really sure. But there is a lot of people in the food service industry that are impacted. And conversely, a lot of people who are in new recovery seeking jobs will gravitate towards the food service business as well, because of the flexible hours and the good pay, and
people are willing to give second chances.
Right.
But it's
Absolutely.
challenging because you're around the bars with alcohols and you have cash money in your pocket.
Sure.
And temptation awaits at every corner after every shift at 12. They get out 12 midnight, 1 o'clock, and usually not great things happen past midnight. But all these things are the temptation. But you're there, just tell us again that people, they can just come in and check out the meetings.
So if you go to our website, thecrossroadsclub.com, there's a list of the meeting times and all the different types of meetings. One of the things that I think is important for the general public to kind of understand is when they hear about the recovery community, if you will, a lot of times what they see in their mind is addiction. They see the overdoses, they see the bad actors who are in the sober homes and doing all kinds of real bad stuff. The recovery community is the complete opposite. And I think this event really highlights that. If people come out and they see, there's no alcohol at this event, there's never been so much as an altercation at this event. It's a big, really, really welcoming community.
It's a dry event, which actually makes it a lot, for me, it's fun because it's all about the food, and a lot of these events, you get people getting sloshed on wine, and then they get ugly and sloppy. But this one is always well run, and but like you said, it's just what I love about people in this business is they are forgiving and they do give second chances, and there's not judgmental. And what I'm also finding is in the last generation, last 10 to 15 years. It used to be a hidden thing, a taboo thing. You didn't want people knowing about it, but now it seems like people are more open. They share their stories, and I think that's what we need to get to a place where we understand where everybody's coming from and the struggles that everybody has.
I agree, and what's funny is you see people who are new into recovery, and they say, oh, I don't want anybody to know that I go to the Crossroads Club or that place. Well, everybody knows you're a drunk.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
They've lived it long enough.
They've lived it, right? They all know you're drunk. So why would you be ashamed that you're doing something about it? And I get it. It's a stigma that people are just not comfortable, but as we get more, I think the opioid addiction, for better or for worse, has kind of highlighted the fact that, we got to move beyond the stigma and just, let's focus on recovery, regardless of, how people may feel about it.
It's always heartening, too, to see a story like Louie Bossi's, or, we had a sports example of it a couple of years ago when somebody asked us if we wanted to interview Ryan Leaf. And we were thinking, well, why would we want to talk to Ryan Leaf? He was a complete bust and ended up, a drug addict in prison. But his recovery story was so enlightening and so heartening that you couldn't help but, feel a certain amount of exhilaration that it is possible to pick yourself up literally off the floor and make it. And that has to be a good thing to have guys like Louie involved where, you look at a guy that was completely down and out and now is one of the more successful and respected restaurateurs in an area that, is ripe with nothing but successful restaurants.
Yeah. And, and that's a typical story, right? That's the basic, rags to riches, the riches story, right? People, they rise, achieve some level of success, maybe or maybe not, but their addiction takes them down, and they come back, and they come back better.
Yeah.
So
look, again, this Saturday, Taste of Recovery in Delray Beach's Old School Square. And it's right off Atlantic, right across from Elizabeth's, which is one of Louie's restaurants, the big-time restaurant group's restaurants. And come on out there. Get your tickets now. Eventbrite.com. Just search for Taste of Recovery or go to tasteofrecovery.com. Chris Finley, thanks so much for coming out.
Pleasure.
Spending a little bit of
show.
time on the Lunchbox. And
appreciate it.
Now I got to talk about another big event coming up. And again, welcome back on board, and we're going to be talking a lot about the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival that's going to be taking place in January of 2023. We're almost into the new year, and right after the holidays is the grand tasting event is going to be on that January 14th. There's the Kids Sunday event, all kinds of family-friendly things on January 15th. And the week leading up to it, January 10th through the 13th, all kinds of great events. They got a barbecue competition, a cocktail competition. There's going to be some intimate dinners at some of the best restaurants around Broward County and Fort Lauderdale. Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival. Get your tickets now. Visit lauderdalefoodandwine.com. And also Eventbrite. VIP tickets are already sold out for the grand tasting, but that's okay. Plenty of good tickets remain for all the other events. Just go check out their website. And we're going to see you in January. We're going to be.
You have to get us back into that barbecue thing. That was fantastic.
Oh yeah, you're there. We're there. I'm going to be judging.
Great
again.
scenario. Also,
we're going to get you involved. So all kinds of good events. We're coming into the winter season.
He's like Portnoy though when he judges a thing like that. Like you were one bite and out, and then there was that one place where you ate the whole thing and then asked for another, and I knew they were going to be the winner.
Well, that's usually a good sign when the critic goes digging in. And there's going to be a lot of that this weekend also at Taste of Recovery. All kinds of good food there. All kinds of good food at the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival coming up in January. All right, we'll be back to wrap up this edition of the Lunchbox after these words.
When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial. Serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. Do you like burgers? Do you like wings? Do you like late night food and sports on big screen TVs and cold beer and friendly vibe and great people? Then you want to check out Shenanigans. For 30 years, they've been doing a great job. The original location, West Side, 3303 Sheridan Street, just across from TY Park in Hollywood. And there's the East Side location, 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach. You go to Shenanigans, you get yourself all the good stuff, the fresh fish every day, the blackened grilled wings, and, of course, the kitchens are open late in both locations. Go there. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent.
And we're back on the Lunchbox first anniversary show. Look at this. One year ago.
I had to pull this off right in front of you.
This is great. It shows you the progress, or maybe, I don't know if it's
a
progress.
regression.
It's
a complete regression. Yeah.
that we've made in a year. That Jeff DeForest was.
Well, I learned that if I want to
consummate
get in on it at all, like even after the show, I have to get my share before you get to it.
Yeah.
And that's become a rule of thumb. Now, you're the host of the show, so we should capitulate to whatever it is. You want to eat the whole pizza, we just say, yes, Mr. Mayo. Whatever your desires are. But I had to get in on a little bit more of that because that was great.
The spaghetti amatriciana.
And we haven't even tried the antipasta
yet. The antipasta is
You sucked down one olive, and that was it.
I have the one olive. I'm still eating my Sicilian green.
Interesting thing, though. While we're here, and this is all great, and I was surprised. The prices are extremely reasonable here.
Yep.
This is a big-time dining area, obviously. I don't know. People always want to know what are Mike Mayo's favorite spots in this Boca Raton area here. As tons of good dining, all types of different dining in this area.
There is.
Rebel House was a popular place. I'm not sure what they're doing anymore. I've been there for a while.
It's more of a Ratskeller type environment where it's kind of a low-key, but
you got Max's
Eric
Grill.
Eric Baker does some really good food. He has a great salmon dish that's rubbed with some like a mustard.
They got some big pho place too over at Meisner Park. Do they not? Some
Boca's packed
noodles
with,
and oodles or whatever that is.
Stuff. They Kapow just recently moved and expanded in Meisner Park. That's a restaurant that's owned and operated by. It's called the Subculture
Kapow,
Group.
yeah, it's a big time. Yeah.
And
not cheap though. Not cheap.
Well, Meisner is not the. It's a high end area.
Yeah.
The other place I really like up there on Meisner in Meisner Park is. It's called Loch Bar, Loch Bar. It's
a lot of people love that
group
joint. Yeah.
That's out of Baltimore, Maryland. Two brothers that are Greek, and but they have really high end seafood. They do all kinds of different oysters, and they have the best crab cakes that I've had in South Florida because it makes sense. They're from Baltimore,
right.
So it's again that crab cake that's just like a superior lump, the jumbo lump crab meat, and they cut it with basically no fillers at all. It's just
they have a Yard House in there also, I believe.
Yeah, Yard House is gone way down.
Nothing big there.
No, I mean, and right around the corner, of course, Funky Biscuit, where we had the
great.
They for live music and food. The food was good. The burger was great. I had the other night. And then around the corner is
your
that
table 20 or whatever that
2020 grill,
2020
which
grill,
I haven't been in yet, but it has a lot of good.
I've been there a couple of
followers.
times. It's good.
Yeah,
a lot of people love it. I don't know that I think it was the greatest of the places, but very good. No question, you're getting a good value there.
And there's
and
a ton of Italian restaurants around town, but Louie Bossi is among the best.
Fantastic,
and you got of course some little place actually that relocated, and it's really an interesting story. Taco Wa. It's a Korean / street food place.
You know what's great about this? Louie actually has food all over his face.
That's good. And I was going to rag on Louie because he was complaining that this pasta is too spicy for him.
Is it spicy? I saw peppers, so I just
it's not peppers. It's it's actually pork.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
It's got flavor. It's a sauce.
I'll try anything.
It's not. I don't find it too spicy, but he's. Louie, though, he's digging into the
he went right for the salami
platter.
there, in the cold cuts.
And it's all good. So Boca has this Taco Wa place. Guy who used to be a Korean baseball broadcaster. He moved to Parkland because he was covering major leaguers, all the Koreans in the major league.
Hey,
baseball.
We were betting on that during the pandemic when there were no sports.
But he opened up this restaurant with his wife after the whole Parkland tragedy because his sons were in the school and they were traumatized.
Yeah.
Well, no, he didn't want to go back to Japan.
You noticed
Korea.
the bowl disappeared, like not even like a fork bowl.
Anyway, Taco Wa is a great place. It's got some really interesting Korean food and street food that you don't always see, like Korean beef tacos and stuff like that.
What's your go-to joint here outside of Louie Bossi's? So you're in this area. You got a meeting with Dick Steen. Last second he cancels, so you don't go all the way to Delray.
Loch Bar, and I'm getting
Loch Bar. Okay.
And they, besides having the great crab cakes and the whole full raw bar and stuff, they have tremendous fried chicken that they cook in this henny penny pressure fryer.
That's nice.
And people talk about Joe Stone Crab and all the other. They talk about the fried chicken at Joe Stone Crab. The fried chicken at Loch Bar, I think, is better.
Oh yeah, wow.
A little more.
I just saw a rave review of the fried chicken at Joe Stone Crab's. people on Let's Eat South Florida were saying they're open for lunch. Now, you have so many different choices here, though. It is absolutely fantastic.
No, Boca is one of those
yeah.
places where there's so many people, and again, it's one of those places where there's it swells during the winter season with all the snowbirds coming in.
What
from
about
the
Max's
northeast.
Grill? What's your thought
It's
on
okay.
Max's Grill?
Yeah, that's all
that
right.
was the root of Cafe Max, also, weren't they? Like
No.
partners at one time?
No,
No?
you're getting. I think Dennis Max.
Weren't they at one
I'm not
point
sure if
working
Dennis
together?
Max
Yeah.
was working together with Oliver and
Or
Daryl.
Daryl, yeah.
They
That
might have been. You know
yeah.
what? You go back longer than me. When
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they were part of
when
that
I
group.
first knew Dennis, when I first know Cafe Max, Dennis Max was already out of it. But
Yeah.
you're right. The genesis might be with Dennis Max. Dennis Max used to be partners with Burt Rappaport.
Always
They're
crowded,
no
though.
longer together.
People
No,
like
they've
the
been there
place.
a long
Yeah.
time. But Boca's got a very vibrant restaurant scene, and I hear the newly redone Boca Resort has all kinds of fantastic upscale
It's a little
restaurants.
hoity-toity for me, although
Well-
I do play tennis there on occasion.
Well, they have some. I've been meaning to get in there and check out some of the restaurants on the high end that they have.
Yeah.
And then also Boca has some really good sushi joints. There's a place called Sunset Sushi that does these omakase dinners where you have like 19 courses for $150. That's been getting rave reviews on the Let's Eat group. I have to make it in there too. Oh, and I forgot one of my new favorite Chinese restaurants called Chili Crab.
Oh,
It's
that's
just
right.
up the
Yeah.
road here
Yeah.
on Dixie Highway.
Yeah, check that
and
out.
Blades in Boca. So Boca food scene thriving, just like in all of South Florida.
As evidenced.
Thanks again to Louie Bossi.
Wow. Nice job.
So that
beautiful.
was great. I was
Yeah.
wrong.
Okay.
That was great.
Louie
He's
was
on
wrong.
board now.
He prejudged with his
Well, because there's peppers. I'm
vision.
very-
It's not peppers.
This right here.
Oh,
This is a
that is
pepper.
pepper. He's touching.
I used
everything.
my fork.
Now I'm gonna have
I
to.
used my
Oh, here we
fork.
go. We're gonna have a food fight to conclude our first anniversary.
So
That's it. The
amateurish.
honeymoon is
Yeah.
over.
You're a
The
supporter,
newlyweds are
John
feuding.
Lutarski signing out here.
That's going to do it for today. And I forgot to mention our friends at Tropical Acres
Yes,
going there tonight. Half price wine night.
Yeah.
You got the early bird special and the happy hour in the bar, 4:30 to
You're still doing the
6:30.
lobsters, right?
I like to combine
Still
them all. I
doing
like to
twin
combine
lobsters.
the bird
Still doing
with a
lobsters.
half-price bottle of wine and then the card that you
And
punch.
you get the punch card for every 12 entrees, the 13th one for
Jack
free.
ends up giving me a 20
Jack's
as I go to the
Studio
parking
Alley,
lot.
2500 Griffin Road. We love Tropical Acres. I love half price wine night. I love happy hour in the bar. I love the punch card. I love twin lobsters for $35.
Don't let the music
I
go
love everything.
Yeah.
And I especially love eating the hot peppers. It looks like a Fresno pepper.
The
that,
whole show
Louie
Oliver
has-
is going to play before this sign off here.
But you know what?
Say goodbye, Mike.
We're in a we're fluid.
We're
we
free
have
now.
we don't
we are
have the
free.
hard outs and all that
That
stuff.
is very true.
All right, that's gonna do it for today. We'll see you tomorrow on the Lunchbox. Louie Default must have tennis.
No, I got
matches.
a parking meter right there. I only put
Yeah,
in for
you've
an
had
hour
enough
and a half.
$30 parking tickets. You almost
You
parked
noticed
in
that
the
I
no
had to
loading
back it
zone.
in 100 times so I wasn't over the line there.
Oh man! All right, we
All right.
all have.
But
our
it was great.
trials.
Louie Bossi, fantastic place.
Yeah, come
man.
out.
Thanks.
Taste of
Check it
Recovery
out
event this
Saturday.
Saturday up in Delray Beach. Go to Eventbrite. Taste of Recovery. And we'll see you out there on Saturday night. We'll see you again tomorrow on the Lunchbox. Until then, remember to enjoy every pizza, pasta, and panini.